Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Earth Day Everyday podcast, where we aim to spotlight exemplary activists, policymakers, and changemakers in the field of sustainability and climate change. I'm your host, Aryan Doshi, and today we are so lucky to be joined by Nicole. Nicole is the president and CEO of the Black Economic Council of Massachusetts and is a member of the MIT Sloan Sustainability Initiative Advisory Board. Nicole, it is absolutely amazing to have you with us today.
Good morning, Irene. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I guess maybe just to start off here, can you talk a little bit about maybe your story and your journey? I know right now you're the CEO of the Black Economic Council. You're part of the MIT Sustainability Board as well. And for you, when was sort of that realization that these were fields you wanted to have an impact in, that climate change was a field you wanted to have a meaningful impact on? Can you just talk about maybe the story and the inspiration leading up to that?
Sure. Thanks for that. I'll start from the beginning. I'm a Jamaican. My mom is Jamaican. I'm first born in my family here. Grew up in suburbs of Massachusetts. Went away to historically Black college, Hampton University, for undergrad, and then went to MIT for grad school. I have two masters there. One is from MIT Sloan. The other one is from the School of Urban Planning and Design. And so that's really the beginning of this interplay between economic and environmental justice began. I'm a venture-backed entrepreneur multiple times, spent most of my career in business, and just recently joined to lead the Black Economic Council of Massachusetts. So we are a nonprofit, and our mission is to build Black wealth. And a big part of building wealth is making sure that we have healthy environment as well as economic justice. And so that's what we do, and that's why it's so important for us to do this work.
Absolutely. And I sort of love the way you sort of talked about both the environmental justice side of it, but then also combining it with other fields as well, right? I think that's the beauty of environmental science. We see it's interdisciplinary and you can connect it to any field that you want and have an impact. So I think that story, right, that motivation for you is such an inspiration to so many people. Can you maybe talk a little bit about the work being done by the MIT Sloan Sustainability Initiative and maybe can you also, I know you just talked about this, mention the link between environmental and economic justice. Can you maybe elaborate on that and then just talk about the work that MIT Sloan Sustainability is doing?
Sure. The MIT Sloan Sustainability Initiative, I'm serving on the advisory board, and as you can imagine, there are a lot of academics
Yeah.
that are included in this board, but there are also folks with business backgrounds, nonprofit backgrounds, and it's really an eclectic group of folks that have come together with the mission of really addressing what our sustainability needs are, really from an end-to-end perspective, from data and research to implementing programs, to fueling innovation that's necessary. And so I'm really enjoying being part of this body. The work that we do at the Black Economic Council of Mass, or BECMA, that work is really very much focused on policy and advocacy around both environmental and economic justice
Yeah. Um,
for the communities here and across the
yeah,
Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
absolutely.
And we also have programming that's specific around helping to make sure that we bring Black residents, business owners, professionals into the climate space
Yeah.
through various solutions, including and especially in the space of electric vehicle charging,
Yeah.
building decarbonization, things like that.
Yeah.
We feel like we have a great role we can play.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, and I think the way you talk about those technologies, and bringing in a Black individual to help, that's just so important, right? Especially when we look at the way global warming is impacting our Earth, right? We have a commitment to not go past 1.5 degrees Celsius, but on the current rate that we're emitting, I mean, we're likely going to get to 2 degrees, maybe even three, right? So the way that you're sort of focusing on decarbonizations, CDR, those are the techniques that we're going to need if we want to have a healthier planet Earth. So I think that's so important. Maybe one more thing to also talk and touch about your story, right? Is I know when you joined the sustainability field, there was that link between environmental, economic justice. And I think one sort of, I guess, hindrance for many people to join the field is that there's billions of people being impacted by this issue, right? It's a global issue. And there's this idea that how am I amongst a rapidly expanding population? I mean, we're probably going to hit 10 billion people in just the next couple of decades. And it's this mindset of how am I amongst the billions? I'm going to have any difference, right? And so what do you sort of say to that mindset? I mean, you've been able to have such a meaningful impact, right? Your work at the Black Economic Council, connecting that with climate justice. But what do you say to someone who's wants to join, but they don't know where to start because of how, in many ways, overwhelming and expansive the field can be?
I think that the threat of climate change has again a positive side to it, which is that it is impacting everyone,
Yeah,
not
definitely.
equally, but it impacts everyone. And so I feel that there's more opportunities to actually get involved in the solutions, and the solutions don't have to all be sexy things like hydrofusion. It can also be around what are you doing personally in
For
your own
sure.
life, but around conservation and but also, there are so many ways to participate professionally, socially, in the work around sustainability. So, what I love about this moment is that it should be clear to everyone that we can't afford for anybody to be on the sidelines.
Absolutely.
We need everybody to really uh, be actively involved through their jobs, through their studies, through supporting organizations that are doing this work. And so that's why we're really excited about it. I feel that from an economic perspective, that Blacks in Massachusetts, for the most part, have missed many of the other booms. So whether it's um, the dot-com boom or AI or life sciences or even cannabis, but this is one that we cannot afford to leave people behind. And so I really love that we're going to activate more of the population in order to win.
Definitely. And I think the way you talk about that is also so true and relevant, especially when you look at historical topics like redlining, like blockbusting, and the effects of those from the 20th century have permeated themselves into 21st century as well, where we're now seeing certain groups, they're relegated to the periphery, they're relegated to certain sectors, certain areas of society that are more prone to climate change. And so you're seeing those individuals being subjected for no fault of theirs to the more extreme measures of climate change, to the more extreme measures of global warming. And so that's why, like you said, it is so important to really mobilize everyone, right? Not just certain people, but everyone and really unite together. And I think there's one more thing you said I sort of wanted to highlight on, which is this sense of, I think, togetherness, right? You said climate change is a unique problem in that it impacts everyone. And that's so true, right? There's a positive impact to that because it's unlike any problem we've seen before in that it requires a sense of unity and togetherness because this is our planet. And so I think, like you said, right, if we're able to go in with that mindset, we can have a really trailblazing impact. And one more sort of idea, concept, um, misconception I wanted to touch upon is this idea of the people of today and right now, right? Which is that in our current environments where we might be, we might have good weather, access to nature, and so the thought of climate change occurring, impacting people, it's a distant thought. And so, what do you sort of say to people who are doubters of the issue? Because in their current environment where they're located, they have access to water, they have access to nature, to sunlight. What do you say to the people who are sort of having that mindset, and how do you sort of get them to see the other side, which is that farmers in today's society, I mean, they're probably one of the most impactful people, and they're being harmed directly from climate change. They produce crops, and that indirectly has a major impact on us. And so, how do you again sort of change that narrative and allow people to see this issue from their perspective?
You know, I'll just say that I struggle with how people don't see it. Like you said, it affects everybody in different ways, whether it's our food supply, the quality of our air or
Yeah.
water. And so I'm not really sure how people don't see it. So I don't have a good answer for that. I know that people may feel that it's not going to happen to them.
Yeah.
Or it's not happening to them right now, but the rate of change is so rapid that I think that we can't ignore it and
Absolutely.
feel that we're immune from it. Um, I'll just tell you a really quick study that was done in Boston not too long ago, and it found that the life expectancy of Black residents
Yeah.
was 23 years different than just those of wealthier white communities just 3 miles away. And not all of that is due to climate change, but
Yeah.
some of it is. And when you think 3 miles,
Yeah.
that is not very far. And if you think that you're immune from what's happening to a poorer community, it's just, it's not reasonable. And so we're really excited about the fact that we feel that more people are um, coming to the realization that now is the time,
Yeah.
and that we actually have so many resources that are available to us. Now we just have to um, fight inertia and actually do something.
Yeah, no, I think that's such a wonderful response, right? In response to sort of the people who are doubting, right? It's having the sense of empathy and connecting with what other people have been through. Only then we'll be able to sort of see and sort of visualize the issue. I guess just one last question here. I know you have to go. Um, can you maybe talk about this idea of what do you say to the aspiring environmentalists today, right? This is sort of one question I like to end off with is what do you sort of say to someone who's trying to join and enter the field? Where can they go? What are the opportunities? Um, how do they get started? I know you found this super relevant and an important link between environmental economic justice that's taken you on a trajectory that's impacted countless number of individuals. And so how does someone sort of join and have that impact? Is it linking to fields with environmental science because it has an interdisciplinary nature? Just where do they go once they join and how can they have the impact and someday get to the stage that you are at today?
I would say to just go for whatever interests you the most. So whether it's policies or technology or programming or organizing, um, I wouldn't, try to create an artificial way to get there. Take
For
your
sure.
interest, and I'm sure there's a climate sustainability element to it, and follow
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
But
No,
just do something.
for sure, 100%. No, I think that's such a humbling and beautiful message to sort of end off on, right? Just do it with what you want. I think there's also this sense of participate in this climate movement also as this way for yourself to know that you're creating a healthier planet for future generations. This it has to stem from this innate sense of goodness that it comes from you. Like, I want to have this impact regardless of money, regardless of cost, and powering really and prioritizing really the planet over all else, planet over profit. So thank you so much, Nicole, for taking the time out of your busy morning to be with us. Thank you so much to all our viewers, and we'll see you all on the next episode of Earth Day Every Day. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks, Irene. Thank you.